Hi, I'm Emily Hanna, the Director of Exhibitions and Chief Curator at Mingei International Museum. We have organized an exhibition entitled African by Design, Form, Pattern, and Meaning in African Craft. And the exhibition presents over 100 examples of everything from furniture, chairs, headrests, clothing, jewelry, baskets, containers of all kinds, currency, weapons, and the show really invites our visitors to consider all of the many design decisions that African artists made and continue to make as they create functional objects for their communities. The show looks at how do the objects function, has their design contributed well to how they have to work, but then what aesthetic decisions has the artist made that takes sort of an ordinary object into the extraordinary? African craft communicates a lot of things. It does that by way of surface patterns that are symbolic, that people within the culture recognize. But these objects also stand alone as incredible visual objects that those outside the culture can marvel at, how surface and form are married well together. One of the kinds of objects that we show quite a lot of is textiles. This is an Adinkra fabric from the West African country of Ghana, covered with stamped patterns. Each pattern is tied to a proverb. So when a person wears this fabric, they are communicating wisdom and meaning and long-held knowledge from within their culture. It's really wonderful to decode these symbols. This, for example, is ram's horns. You can envision rams butting heads, and you see that stamp pattern here. And the proverb is, it's the heart and not the horns that lead the ram to bully, meaning that if you have power, if you have horns, you should not be leading by the fact that you have horns. You should be led by your heart to lead. And then here's this marvelous crescent moon. You see that pattern here, and this is about faithfulness and the moon waxing and waning. It changes form. Sometimes it disappears entirely before the new moon, but it always returns. It is faithful, and people are faithful. This is a very traditional kind of cloth, but you see that we're also showing contemporary African design and fashion. These are shoes that were designed by Emily Ozeblavo, who is a Ghanaian artist working in the UK. I ordered these shoes from her, and you can see that same ram's horn pattern that shows up. This Adinkra cloth is factory made, but the exhibition really shows a range, older objects and very new craft, because craft is ongoing. It continues, and it's important to show that. There are some wonderful pieces of furniture in this show, and the ones that are so interesting to me are the ones that make contact with the human body. These are headrests, important because they provide support for your head when you're sleeping, but also the fact that they cradle your head. A person's head is very important. The human head is command central on the body. So this headrest is from Ethiopia, absolutely beautiful in its design. It's very lightweight. It can be held easily and carried like this, but just these shapes are so elegant. This headrest has a different shape and has very intricate carving all over the object. You can see these intertwined lines all the way up onto the side, geometric patterns on both sides. There's even carving on the bottom, which no one would see. And there is also a pattern carved into the neck rest And this pattern would leave an impression on your skin, which is important, sort of a temporary little tattoo mark on your skin. So these are 2 examples. We have many more headrests in the exhibition as well. We have a lot of beautiful pottery in this exhibition coming from all over the continent. This pot comes from South Africa. It is Zulu, and it's intended to hold beer. And beer is present at all kinds of life celebrations, weddings, and other parties. And its color is significant, and these raised patterns also are coming out of a long-standing tradition. The dark black-brown color is meant to signal the beautiful color of Zulu skin. And the idea is that when you have a celebration, a wedding, or you want the ancestors to be present, there will be beer, there will be beautiful people with their beautiful dark skin, and the ancestors will come. And so these raised patterns, which on this pot are letters, initials of someone, in earlier times those patterns would have been more abstract, and the tradition in general comes out of the tradition of body scarification. And so this pot is a body, it looks like a belly, and it is decorated now. This artist chose to decorate with initials. And when you see other Zulu beer pots, which you will recognize, you'll see that the patterns are more abstract. This jar is not heavy, and you pick it up by the rim and by the bottom, and then it's ready to pour. African designers and artists have created brilliant forms, and I think when they're seen all in a room together, it's going to be very impressive and beautiful.